Okay, good morning, Mr. Noel Bersaluna. How are you
Uh,
today?
okay. Good morning, Mr. Balolong. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How about you?
I'm fine also, thank you. Okay, if it's good to you, are you ready for the interview?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay. By the way, I am Noel J. Bersaluna. Applying in your company as a human resource officer. I came from the United Kingdom actually. My field of work most likely in the field, actually, not in office. And most
I
of
see.
my work experience came from abroad as I graduated way back before masteral and then the actual course itself. I've worked in abroad most likely. I came from the Reuters Broadcasting Company in United Kingdom, and then in Motor Company in the United States. Same with the position that I've been applying for right now.
Okay, thank you for sharing. What do you decided to apply in our company?
I decided to apply in your company as being here. Uh, Now I am based here in the Philippines, most likely in Manila, actually. I
Mhm.
applied in your company because as having a great work experience here in the country and having that experience uh, on how Filipino deal with their work environment, and I'm hoping that certain experience would lead me to a better way to understand people, most likely in my field. And I do really hope that the work field here in the Philippines would be too much lighter than those in abroad, and that's all. Okay.
Okay, welcome home to the Philippines, Mr. Noel. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Okay. So in terms of my strength is to see the company or the employees itself excelling because as
Mm.
my part of being in that field, our work or our job is to making people excel in their field most likely and help them excel in their certain work and field or their aspirations in life. And would be my weaknesses most likely misunderstandings between the employee and all of its staff or most likely in their bosses because misunderstandings would lead to uncertain things most likely in the company, and I don't really tolerate it that certain kind of point because we're here to help them and not to lead them to a wrong way.
I can say that don't worry too much because the coworkers here are very approachable and easy to work with. So less worry there.
Most likely.
Uh, can I ask, do you have any serious medical conditions?
Right now, I don't have any medical conditions occurring at this time.
That's good. Okay. So why should we hire you?
Okay. I hope that this company would hire me in my desired position because um, in in any field that I've looking for, most likely in my past work experiences, I'm looking forward that the company would excel on my part, having my certain expertise would lead them to growth of the company and a more connection within the employee, their bosses, their officers, because I do really believe that success would start from the understanding of each other, putting themselves into the shoes of the others, and most likely understand them and in certain things that might be the highest position would not understand them. So most likely connect interconnection between them.
Okay, could use some of that. Okay, are you a team player?
Yes, most likely I'm a team player because like I've said before, way then, that I'm more into the work field, a field of work, field work than to office works.
I see. That's good to hear. Okay, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh, okay. I do really see myself years from now. Most likely, I'm not into the position that I'm looking forward for a higher position, and most likely, I'm fulfilled to have my desired position right now would be the same years from now because I'm more on helping people than to helping myself as a greater, having a greater position in any field that I'm entering to.
Okay, helping others will sure be a great, will repay in the future someday. So that's great to keep, Mr. Noel. So describe your dream job environment.
Okay, my dream job environment would likely be very light and the people would understand themselves at each other. Um, Having an interconnection between the higher position or the lower position or the staffs itself would most likely having a great working environment, very light, having understanding to each other, and okay. Continue.
Continue. Okay, describe how will you handle pressure in work or family issue.
Okay. I handle pressure most likely in terms of work. Most likely leading some problems into resolution very easily because I'm not into the point that I'll be putting the problems more likely occurring in the longer run. Most likely, I'm that point that to um, resolve it before the day ends, and then in terms of family, would likely not at all because my family was in the abroad and not here in the Philippines, so I'm alone here in the Philippines.
Okay. So what do you consider to be your biggest achievement?
Okay, my greatest achievement would be seeing people be successful during the time that I helped them in some point, and I have contributed some points of view for them to make them their part, and they excelling because I do have my part, and they have their part of their own.
Okay, that's good. So tell me, how do you think other people describe you and why?
Okay. I want people to describe me as a simple one, being a companion to them because it's not with regards to position that you're having to. It's within the connection between you and the employees that you will understand each other because you're putting yourselves not into the position that you have right now, but to having you in their part and understanding their problems and may be resolved in a better way that you can understand them also.
Empathy is a good trait to have, Mr. Noel, so that's good. Okay. Lastly, in your own words, how will you define mistakes?
Okay, most likely mistakes. Okay, I define mistakes as a motivation to strive in life because I'm not that person that tolerating mistakes occurring in the longer run because mistakes would run to you very shortly. That mistake would lead you to realizing some things that you should not do that again. And that problem or that certain mistake would be a wake up call for you to excel more and learn from that certain mistake.
Very well said. Okay, Mr. Barcelona, that's the end of the interview. Thank you so much for answering these questions and for giving time to talk to you. Just wait for us to contact you about this application and no pressure. Expect that you receive a further confirmation.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's all. Bye. Have a good day.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for the interview.